The next question is from Shane, and he's saying, what are your thoughts on the new micro E-mini futures contract? Is it worthwhile to consider trading them? So I think that it's a interesting product, and I think that there is some value to it, especially for new and developing traders, or even professional traders who maybe want to swing trade the product. So the micro E-mini futures contract, for those who are not aware, is 1/10 the size of the regular E-mini futures contract. So it moves pretty much tick for tick, just like ES, except instead of being $50 a point, it's $5 a point. So it's 1/10 the size, which means that if you are starting off with just a few $1,000s, you can really use the micro E-mini to hone your craft and really learn with minimal risk, right? So think about it. If you're normally risking, let's say, 3 or 4 points, and the minimum you can trade on the E-mini S&P is one contract, which means you would be risking $150 to $200. Well, now you can get the same, learning, the same experience pretty much, while risking only $20 per trade. So I think that for new and developing traders, it's going to be a really valuable product. Now, as far as I know, the trading costs are technically a little bit higher for the micro. Like, for example, if you put on 10 micro E-mini contracts as opposed to one E-mini S&P, I think your commission is going to be a little bit higher than just trading ES. But I don't think this contract is really designed for anyone trading big size or even multiple lots in the E-mini S&P. I think it's really designed for smaller size. Someone who's trading, one lot or two lot, well, they can trade 10 to 20 micro E-minis, and they can scale in, scale out. They really have more freedom and just more flexibility with how they manage their trade. And then I think that if someone wanted to swing trade the futures market, and let's say they're not really well capitalized, the micro is a great alternative because you can really manage your position with very controlled risk and swing trade the micro E-minis, right? And then I think the last use of the micro E-mini that I was thinking for even myself was that if you want to just kind of stay engaged with the market, throughout the day, and you want to put some trades on and just kind of experiment or just kind of play around with the market, well, then the micro E-mini could be a good way to just kind of practice on some new ideas, or just as a way to kind of remain engaged throughout the day and not get bored or disengaged from the market. So that's, I think, another use of the micro E-mini. You can just throw a few of those on, and it's not going to really make a dent in anyone's account if you have a couple of micro E-minis on, and you're kind of using that to kind of test the waters and kind of feel the flow of the market. And then when the really good opportunity arises, then maybe you put the normal position on. So it's another way to kind of just test around and play with the market. I mean, I don't think it's really going to be used by anyone who's trading, multiple lots in the normal ES contract. Like if you're trading even 5 or 10 contracts on ES, then there's really no purpose or use for the micro E-mini. You're just going to be increasing your commission cost. But for new traders, I think it's a very valuable product. Anything beats trading on the simulator, right? So new traders should start on the simulator, but then once they kind of figure out the basic mechanics of it, I think then they can switch over to the micro E-mini, and at least there's some money on the line. Even if you're trading one contract of the micro, and yeah, there's only $20 of risk, but $20 is still better than zero on the simulator. So at least you get some, realistic experience while also really controlling your risk, and that means you can really build out your trading edge and do so on a real money account, and it's not going to cost you a whole lot to do that, right? So I think it's a great product for learning how to trade. And I think that's really going to be the primary use of it. Scott's question is, does OAS plan on posting a zone file or making an indicator to use for the micros? I mean, technically you can use the same zones file because the pricing is the same, right? Like, I mean, they move tick for tick with the ES. So you can just change the symbol on the underlying chart and still add the zones indicator on it with the zones file. And by the way, for those not familiar, Scott is referring to the EminiPlayer zones indicator. So you can go to eminiplayer.net to learn more about that if you're not familiar with it.